Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the May 10th regular Board of Education meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Tonight's a very special night, so I'm not going to say anything to hold back the festivities, so I'm just going to turn it over to Dr. Glass.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. What a pleasure it is to welcome everyone here tonight for this wonderful tenure candidate celebration. It's our honor to welcome the achievement of our dedicated educators who are on the threshold of a big achievement tonight, something that they've earned through their hard work, their perseverance, and their dedicated service, and their selfless service. And I want to take a moment and welcome and thank all of the family members, friends, and others who've joined our esteemed colleagues tonight to personally help them celebrate this achievement. We're delighted you're here. We really feel fortunate that we're finally able to get to this point in the year that is probably the highlight of the entire school year, and that you're here with us. And to us, those we're honoring are esteemed colleagues and friends, but we know that to our family members, they are spouses, parents, sons, daughters, siblings, and we acknowledge what a special achievement this is and how it holds such personal meaning for all of you. And thank you for being here tonight. We welcome you. And in the academic world, it's important to note that achieving tenure is really about so much more than just than performing admirably in the profession. Yes, it is that, and doing that consistently for a certain number of years. But tenure is conferred upon individuals who consistently set a high standard for integrity, for professionalism, and their example elevates the level of learning in the classroom and inspires all the best out of the colleagues they work with every day. These are lifelong learners. These are peer leaders. They uphold the highest ideals of the profession and this school district. And they help set a tone and a standard that will help ensure the quality of this school district for years to come. So tonight we're going to honor each of our tenure candidates as heroes of this profession, as heroes here in Eastchester. And I hope everyone feels as privileged as I do to be here celebrating these amazing educators. And so I invite all of you to join in that celebration and to appreciate this special night. And to start our ceremony, I'd like to ask that our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Scott Wynn, who works closely with all of our educators throughout the year, come to the podium and begin this special ceremony.
Thank you, Dr. Glass. So it is my pleasure to begin tonight's ceremonies by inviting up Mrs. Susan Chester, our K-12 Supervisor of Humanities. So members of the Board of Education, tonight it is my pleasure to recommend Susan Chester for tenure as the K-12 Supervisor of Humanities. Susan, the role of K-12 Supervisor is not easy, even in the best of circumstances. But it was especially challenging when the role was brand new, and you took on the challenge of developing it from the ground up. From your first day through today, you have approached your position with poise, determination, and conviction. You come to work each day providing a calm consistency, especially to me, a demand for excellence, and an unwavering compassion for students and staff alike. On a daily basis, you exemplify the qualities of an effective educator and leader who makes a conscious choice to work with and advocate for the needs of students and staff. From a curriculum and instruction standpoint, you always strive to ensure that our students experience the curriculum through a higher order, engaging, multidisciplinary approach. You consistently help students realize that they are ready and able to play a major role in their own learning and must grow accordingly to be successful. You have helped further move the Eastchester School District into being an inviting, supporting, and safe place, as well as a joyful educational community that promotes in-depth learning and enhances students and staff well-being. Susan, you exhibit integrity in every facet of your work. You are a consummate team player, desiring only for what is best for Eastchester and our students. I rely upon you and appreciate the honest feedback you provide me on a daily basis. I admire your firm resolve in the face of difficult situations and circumstances. Your honest sense of humor and willingness to accept suggestions and guidance bring a special strength to our professional relationship. The Eastchester School District is fortunate to have an individual of your stature as its K-12 Supervisor of Humanities. Tonight, you join the ranks of tenured administrators whose job it is on a daily basis to continue to raise the level of education of our students. It is my hope that you remain a part of our community for the length of your professional career. Please continue to ensure our students' success for years to come. Congratulations. It is my pleasure to now invite to the podium Dr. Jeffrey Capuano, the principal of Eastchester High School.
Good evening. It's great to see so many people here tonight. I'd like to invite Jennifer Batista, Alexander Blashenko, Brianne Brower, Emily Cozy, Morgan Duram, Marcy Gachalian, Rob Heineman, Ashley O'Hanlon, and Jackie Osmanaj to the front, please. As they're coming up, I want to do a little thought exercise with everyone here. If I was to say, think of Eastchester High School and picture it in your minds, what would you think of? Is it the beautiful facade in the front of the building that you see as you travel south on Route 22 every day? Maybe. I'd contend with you that's not Eastchester High School. Because Eastchester High School is a living, breathing organism made up of 1,000 students and almost 200 staff. And we get to honor some of those individuals who make this place a living, breathing, magical place every day. I'd like to start by talking about Jennifer Batista. It's a privilege to recommend Jennifer for a 10-year appointment as a teacher of special education. Jen has proved herself to be a competent and caring professional who has worked admirably with our math and special education departments to develop our collaborative and academic core programs in mathematics. It is a result of her focus that our special education students receive a solid foundation in algebra and geometry. As a caring teacher, Ms. Batista has worked with individual students to help them experience high levels of success. She seeks to design lessons specific to the needs of specific individuals, always asking, how do I communicate this concept in a way that is going to be best understood by my student? Beyond the curriculum, Jen has taken on the role of advisor to the Animal Rights Club and has been striving to help our students become more involved in service to local organizations which assist animals in need. It is my distinct privilege and honor to recommend Jennifer Batista for tenure. Ms. Alexandra Blashenko. It's a privilege to recommend Ms. Alexandra Blashenko for a 10-year appointment as a teacher of science. It is especially nice to award tenure to Sasha, as she's a graduate of Eastchester High School, class of 2014. Sasha has proved herself to be an excellent teacher who works diligently to develop creative lessons which connect with student interest. Her time spent in lesson development is clear to anyone who visits her classroom. She conscientiously prepares, both mentally and materially, to ensure a fine experience for her students. She's also a caring teacher, developing an academically safe environment which is welcoming to each of her students. Each student is cared for and respected both during class and after school. Her students and parents recognize her investment in them. In speaking to Sasha, she is most proud that she has found a way to successfully prepare for 3 completely different curricula, to continually learn and to regularly find ways to incorporate new ideas into her lessons. She identifies as both a teacher and a scientist, having published research in the past and is currently working on a study examining the effects of student agency on motivation. It is my pleasure and honor to recommend Sasha Blashenko for tenure. Ms. Brienne Brower. It's a pleasure to recommend Brienne for a tenure appointment as a school counselor. Ms. Brower has been an outstanding addition to our guidance department, offering competence, kindness, and relationship to each of her students. It is clear that she is invested in the success of each of her students. They plainly recognize and appreciate her dedication to their well-being. Having observed her interactions with parents and students, I'm grateful for how she knows her students and families. This knowledge conveys concern and also helps her team with families to meet their goals for their children. Brienne is also well regarded as a staff member willing to work with her team to develop programs, create presentations, and complete projects as required in the guidance department. It is wonderfully refreshing to see newer staff members working with senior staff to better our programming and service. Beyond her counseling role, Ms. Brower has teamed with Ms. Chrissy as co-advisor to the National Honor Society, highlighting aspects far beyond GPA and encouraging our students to focus on the critical elements of character, service, and leadership. The time, effort, and thought expended in this process to revamp the National Honor Society has been one of fantastic benefit for our most academic students. It's my pleasure and honor to recommend Brienne Brower for tenure. Ms. Emily Cozy. Ms. Cozy has joined a fine team of counselors and has become an integral member of a high-functioning unit. Emily, as a new counselor, is grateful for the opportunity she has been offered to learn her profession in Eastchester. While she is grateful for the experience, we are more than pleased for what Emily brought to us. While she is tremendously organized and capable, the hallmark of Ms. Cozy are the relationships she has developed with her students. She is most proud of the growing relationship she has forged over the last 4 years. Additionally, her relationships within the department have also been solid, working to develop presentations and programming which are of great benefit to our students in the school. Beyond the classroom, Ms. Cozy has volunteered to serve as a member of the Regional Crisis Team, meeting once per month to develop a network of experts and a toolkit of supports for Westchester County schools. Not only is she available to assist other schools in need, but she's ready and able to bring back those ideas to our school. As a result of her involvement, she has been able to help us reach beyond our normal circle to offer supports to students, staff, and family. Congratulations, Emily, on being recommended for tenure. Ms. Morgan Durham. Ms. Durham is a gifted art teacher and artist who attempts to instill a love and understanding of, as well as an ability in, the arts. She carefully demonstrates artistic methodologies to her students and thoughtfully but delicately monitors their progress as they develop their skills. As a result of her thoughtful presentation and regular feedback, the students become proficient and confident in their artistic abilities. Morgan has been a forward thinker, receiving 2 grants to develop a weaving program used in both the global crafts and adaptive art classes. Classes are now able to create functional works of art, learning about color theory, patterns, the history of weaving, and specific weaving techniques. Her extra efforts to acquire 2 grants greatly improved our program and our students' experience. Our art department is regularly viewed as having both adept teachers and proficient doers of art. Morgan is no exception. Mr. Ram has been active outside the classroom, guiding our most advanced students as the advisor of the Art Honor Society. Additionally, Morgan is an active artist, currently as a storybook illustrator She has also had her paintings featured on a magazine cover for Point Lookout in Long Island. It's a privilege to recommend Morgan Duran for tenure as a teacher of art. Ms. Marcy Gachalian. Marcy has been a vital member of our team, working with our school psychologists, our instructional support team, and our crisis team. If something could potentially go wrong, Marcy is standing right there to try to fix it. In working with struggling students, Marcy makes connections based on trust. She has worked very closely with parents and students over long periods of time to help children succeed in school and in life. It is because of her work that a number of our students are able to attend school and succeed on a daily basis. Marcy is very proud of the connections she has made and the trust she has earned. As her primary focus is to help our students succeed, this remains her highest priority. She is also proud of her DBT training she has afforded teachers and students, giving them tools to address stress and anxiety. It's my privilege to recommend Marcy for tenure as a school psychologist. She is a very valuable member of our team. Congratulations. Mr. Rob Heineman. As a teacher of English 11, he has worked to support both our students with special needs in the collaborative program as well as those in the general program. He has also worked to develop and teach a novel class called 21st Century Journalism, which is a journalism course using an online platform. As an educator, Rob is tremendously conscientious in preparation and implementation. He is intentional in his lesson development as well as his interaction with students. When one observes his class, it is clear that students respect and appreciate Mr. Heineman's thoughtful preparation and delivery. As a result, his students are engaged and participative. Rob has earned accolades for using his prior skills as an online journalist to develop a new course offering our students entry into the world of online reporting. His students now regularly write articles which are researched, written, and published on a website for this purpose. Professionally, Rob is a collaborative educator working very well with colleagues within both the English and special education departments. He's accepted the role of technology facilitator in the high school and has served to help his colleagues develop their skills to effectively and efficiently provide various forms of technology in their pedagogy. Additionally, Rob has forged relationships with students outside the classroom as a junior varsity soccer and modified track coach. He fully believes that we as educators need to teach the whole child, and he lives by that example. Congratulations, Rob, on being recommended for tenure. Ms. Aisling O'Hanlon. Teaching both drawing and painting and adaptive art, Aisling has developed her ability to effectively reach our neediest as well as our most advanced students. Her ability, patience, kindness, and affirming demeanor help each of her students, irrespective of age or ability, reach their full potential. When one observes Ms. O'Hanlon's class, the observer is immediately struck by the way her students critique a work of art and show how they communicate about said work using technical and art-specific vocabulary. They are truly becoming thinkers of art. Students are also routinely encouraged to take risks and make mistakes. They understand that they are in a safe environment in which to try new things. This lesson is not only vital for art, but for life. Student focus is also evident. They readily begin work as soon as they enter the room and are focused for the entire period. Lastly, the environment is one of warmth. Ms. O'Hanlon is a kind and nurturing person whose kindness permeates the entire classroom. This fosters a very welcoming atmosphere. In speaking to Ms. O'Hanlon, she is most proud of the connections she makes with her students through their work. She is always excited to see their ability and understanding grow. She is also glad to have so many students attend after-school help, seeking to hone their skills and improve their project, evidencing an internal locus of control and internal motivation, and intrinsic motivation. It's a privilege to recommend Ms. Ashley O'Hanlon for tenure as a teacher of art. Last but not least, and I promise I've got the most of the evening, so you won't be here all night, Ms. Jacqueline Osmane. It's a privilege to recommend Jacqueline for a tenure appointment as a teacher of mathematics. Jackie has demonstrated her ability to teach students who have difficulty with the subject, as well as those who thrive in an academic environment, as she helps those in intermediate algebra gain functional skills while helping those in computer science prepare for advanced math and AP courses. This demonstrated versatility offers much to our students in our school. Ms. Osmani has proved herself to be a true student since coming to Eastchester. When she learned of the possibility of teaching computer science, she studied, read, and attended class so she could learn Java. She was excited and gratified to be given the opportunity to learn and teach something new. Computer science has become one of her favorite classes to teach. This love of learning is something we desire for all of our teachers, as they can then model this passion to our students. Jackie's favorite part of the day is when she has an opportunity to work with students after school. It is during these times that she not only gets to quote-unquote talk math, but gets to know her students personally. This is where she forges strong relationships with her students, evidencing a love for the topic and a love for her students. She is dedicated to their success, and they recognize that. It is truly a privilege to recommend Jackie for tenure as a teacher of mathematics, and I'm so proud and pleased with everyone that is receiving tenure tonight from the high school. Congratulations. If you would please welcome Madeline LeBou from the middle school.
Thank you, Dr. Capuano. Good evening. I'd like to welcome and invite over to the podium from the middle school, Caitlin Anderson, Aaron Bonner, Zachary Glindmeyer, Courtney Jukic, Laura Kirkpatrick, Margaret Mead, Nicole Reardon, and Madeline Rundy. Closer. Okay. It is my privilege to recommend Caitlin Anderson for tenure as a special education teacher. Ms. Anderson's positive attributes include her ability to work collaboratively with others and her dedication to the students while ensuring that our students with disabilities can access instruction. Ms. Anderson made an immediate impact on the co-teaching program in the 6th grade by building relationships with general education teachers to successfully co-teach and differentiate the curriculum. She met frequently with grade-level colleagues to gain a deeper understanding of the standards and to develop lessons that would better meet the students' needs. She quickly embraced the district's shared vision and graduation goals so that complex thinking and effective communication are embedded into her daily instruction. During her time at EMS, Ms. Anderson has provided support to multiple leave replacement teachers by working with these educators to create rigorous lessons and to assist in meeting the needs of all students within her instructional team. Ms. Anderson continuously demonstrates an understanding that her communication and collaboration with others has a positive effect on students' achievement. Outside of the classroom, Ms. Anderson is part of our Building Emergency Response team. She has prepared and presented special education strategies at SEPTA meetings and volunteers to chaperone field trips, school concerts, and activities. Most recently, Ms. Anderson assisted with planning the 6th grade field trip, and we are in the process of planning another author visit in the 6th grade. It is my privilege to recommend Ms. Caitlin Anderson for tenure as a special education teacher at Eastchester Middle School. It is also my privilege to recommend Ms. Erin Bonner as a teacher of music education at Eastchester Middle School. Ms. Bonner has proven herself to be a creative and determined music educator. Her strengths include her ability to work collaboratively with others and her ability to be adaptable while ensuring our chorus and Adventures in Music classes are student-focused and remain innovative. During her time at Eastchester Middle School, Ms. Bonner has contributed to the redesign of our Adventures in Music course, which now includes ukulele instruction, songwriting, music video production, movie soundtrack creation, and many more opportunities for students not enrolled in our performance music courses. This has resulted in a 750% growth in the Adventures in Music program since the 2018-2019 academic year. While not being able to sing during the COVID-19 pandemic, Ms. Bonner developed a year-and-a-half worth of new curriculum and found innovative ways to engage our choir students and adapt to delivering instruction while singing socially distanced in an alternative setting. Nonetheless, our chorus classes continue to produce beautiful music with student choice under Ms. Bonner's direction. Ms. Bonner's musical influence and contributions extend beyond the classroom. Ms. Bonner is the co-director of the Middle School Players Club, having recently successfully produced The Alibi, in addition to previously serving as the musical director for the Players Club production of Seussical Jr. Ms. Bonner also advised our notable a cappella club, ukulele club, served as the assistant coach for the varsity girls lacrosse team as well. Ms. Bonner can be counted upon to accompany her music colleagues during band and orchestra concerts, both at the middle school and the high school, and at her graduation ceremony. Ms. Bonner also consistently volunteers to chaperone field trips and school events, including International Night and our 8th grade trip to Ellis Island this past fall. Ms. Bonner is a dedicated music educator. She offers her time to support students, including preparing numerous students for the NYSSMA Solo Festival, local solos. She works diligently to create and maintain an innovative music curriculum. It is my privilege to recommend Erin Bonner as a music educator at Eastchester Middle School. It is also my honor to recommend Zach Glinmeyer as a mathematics teacher at Eastchester Middle School. Mr. Glinmeyer's enthusiasm for teaching mathematics is evident in his positive attitude in all that he does on a daily basis. Yet, it was through much collaboration that Mr. Glinmeyer quickly gained the respect of his instructional team as well as that of our math department. He meets regularly with colleagues to plan, motivating, and align the curriculum across all 7th grade mathematical classes. Mr. Glinmeyer has proven to be versatile and dependable. Prior to teaching math in 7th grade, Mr. Glinmeyer has also taught math in grades 6, 8, as well as Algebra 1. While providing AIS services, his curricular work further included creating and implementing technology-infused lesson plans suitable for students in grades 6, 7, and 8 that were aligned with the curriculum in the general education math classes, and which were part of the Tier 2 services and supports provided to students through our academic intervention services. Mr. Glinmeyer understands the importance of developing strong relationships with students. He is sensitive to the students' emotional needs and respectful of their social needs, which creates a safe learning environment where students are comfortable taking risks while learning math, a subject that can be challenging for middle school learners. Students enjoy Mr. Glinmeyer's class as evidenced by their respectful approach, hard work, and attendance at extra help sessions after school. Mr. Glinmeyer has been a consistent contributor at events and activities aimed at assisting the Eastchester Middle School community. He has volunteered to chaperone field trips, past field trips to Washington, restarted the EMS math clubs, serves as our school treasurer, and most recently volunteered to serve as a 7th grade lunch supervisor, which provides an opportunity to further connect with students outside of the classroom. Mr. Glinmeyer can be counted on to participate in interview committees and collaborate with our building math team. It is my honor to recommend Zach Glinmeyer as a math educator at Eastchester Middle School. Also my honor to recommend Courtney Jukic as a reading specialist at Eastchester Middle School. After teaching English, Ms. Jukic found her permanent home at Eastchester Middle School. Over the past 3 years, Ms. Jukic has proven to be an asset to the Eastchester School District. Ms. Jukic's positive attributes include her expertise in the areas of reading, her desire to be a lifelong learner, and her ability to build strong relationships with students, colleagues, and families. Ms. Jukic has received extensive training as a reading specialist, especially in the implementation of the level literacy instruction. She is able to accurately assess students who appear to struggle with reading. She understands that being a proficient middle school reader requires a student to think critically about text and appreciate nuances and meaning. Ms. Jukic is able to create lessons that focus on developing these complex skills. She individualizes instructions so that many of our students can make tremendous progress and growth. Ms. Jukic continues to participate in professional development that provides her with additional strategies to use with her students. She's an open-minded educator who is willing to implement new instructional techniques. Ms. Jukic loves to read and makes a point to familiarize herself with current young adult literature. She tries to instill her students with a passion for reading by recommending books and updating her classroom library. Additionally, Ms. Jukic collaborates with other teachers to suggest strategies for individual students and ensure students' success across curricular areas. Through both her expertise and approachable manner, Ms. Jukic has become a valued resource for many staff members at Eastchester Middle School. Ms. Jukic is an extremely dedicated teacher who works diligently to plan lessons that will engage students. In addition, she reflects on her teaching and is always looking for ways to improve. She makes connections between her lessons and lessons that students, and ensures that students are learning in other content areas. She also encourages students in her classes to transfer many skills of reading and writing strategies to other curricular areas, which allows students to see connections between different content areas and helps all teachers support literacy skills. It is my pleasure to recommend Courtney Jukic for tenure as a teacher for reading and It is also my pleasure to recommend Mrs. Laura Kirkpatrick as a teacher of special education. Ms. Kirkpatrick began working as a 6th grade special education teacher at Eastchester Middle School in September of 2018. Since then, she has proven herself to be a confident and dedicated teacher. Throughout her probationary appointment, she has become a valuable member of the Eastchester learning community. Ms. Kirkpatrick's strengths as an educator include her ability to work collaboratively with others and her dedication to our students with disabilities, while ensuring that they receive high-quality 6th grade education. Ms. Kirkpatrick made an immediate impact on the 6th grade integrated co-teaching program while co-teaching English language arts, social studies, and providing small group support to students in our integrated co-teaching program. She utilized common planning time effectively to meet with general education colleagues to gain deeper understanding of the instructional standards and to develop lessons considerate of students' learning and literacy needs. Ms. Kirkpatrick continues to collaborate with the 6th grade ELA social studies teachers to plan and revise lessons, discuss curriculum, and share instructional strategies that ensure that all students have an opportunity to access instruction and improve their academic skills while meeting IEP needs. Ms. Kirkpatrick has established positive collegial relationships with all members of her instructional team and continuously demonstrates an understanding that her communication and collaboration with others has a positive effect on student achievement. Ms. Kirkpatrick works diligently to plan lessons that engage students. In addition, she reflects on her teaching and looks for ways to improve. Ms. Kirkpatrick is diligent in providing support to her students, whether during class periods, small group support, or during after-school extra help. Her literacy background allows her to provide tailored support that can be carried over to multiple curricular areas, and which allows students to see connections between different content areas while reinforcing academic needs. During her time at Eastchester Middle School, Ms. Kirkpatrick has developed positive rapport with students, colleagues, and parents. She quickly became an integral part of the Eastchester Middle School family. It is my honor to recommend Laura Kirkpatrick for tenure as a teacher of special education. Next, it is also my honor to recommend Maggie Mead as the teacher of special education at Eastchester Middle School. Ms. Mead made an immediate impact on our 8th grade co-teaching and special class programs while teaching English language arts, science, and mathematics. Through much collaboration, Ms. Mead quickly gained the respect of her colleagues. She meets frequently with members of our instructional team to plan motivating lessons and align the curriculum in our special classes with that of our integrated co-teaching program. Ms. Mead advocates for her students with disabilities continuously, demonstrates an understanding that her communication and collaboration with colleagues, related service providers, and parents has a positive effect on the student's achievement. In turn, this genuine concern is also acknowledged by her students through much respect and appreciation. Ms. Mead understands the importance of developing strong relationships with students. She is very sensitive to the needs of middle school learners and those of students with disabilities. Students enjoy her classes and are comfortable sharing their opinions. Ms. Mead celebrates student success and provides encouragement when they experience difficulty. She offers exciting opportunities, positive reinforcement that include classroom celebrations, and consistently motivates her students to strive to achieve their very best. Her zest for teaching and connecting with students is palpable. Ms. Mead's commitment and dedication consistently shines through. She understands the value of creating homeschool partnerships and takes great pride in both communicating and forging relationships with parents. Ms. Mead frequently offers extra help and volunteers to provide tutoring for students with disabilities that are quarantined or test positive for COVID. Many students, including our general education students, seek out Ms. Mead for support. Ms. Mead goes above and beyond and is fully immersed herself in all things Eastchester. Most recently, Ms. Mead volunteered to chaperone our field trip to Ellis Island, which provided an opportunity for further connection with students outside of the classroom setting. Ms. Mead is an extremely dedicated, caring, and talented teacher that has positively impacted the lives of many students since she began working at Eastchester Middle School. She works diligently to plan lessons students enjoy and are fully engaged in. In addition, she reflects on her teaching and is open to feedback as means to improve. Ms. Mead makes real-life connections between the content and student interests that are relatable, especially when teaching mathematics in our special class program. It is my privilege to recommend Maggie Mead as a teacher of special education at Eastchester Middle School. Next, I'd like to recommend Ms. Nicole Reedon as an art teacher at Eastchester Middle School. Ms. Reedon has proven herself to be a creative and compassionate art educator. Ms. Reedon has taught grades 6, 7, and 8, as well as our students with disability through an adaptive art program. Through her creative instruction and multicultural education, she holds true to her philosophy that we learn about the past and present world around us through art. Ms. Reardon provides extended learning opportunities to our students that include art enrichment programs such as Museums with Marissa, a program led by museum educator Marissa Horowitz-Schaffer, a Harvard and Michigan University graduate with degrees in museum education, Egyptology, and Archaeology. Ms. Reading introduced this program, which enhanced learning during 6th grade art unit on Egypt. She also works with her 6th grade social studies teachers to provide interdisciplinary connections between art and world studies. She brings her experience as a certified art therapist and understands that children who want to learn more about art and find therapy and fascination in creating it. Thus, she shares her talents and love for art as the advisor of our art club. The art club recently has an enrollment of over 50 students that meet weekly. The art club provides a safe and supportive environment where these art enthusiasts spend time with Ms. Reardon after school to be expressive through art while learning unique skills and expanding technique outside of the regular classroom. Ms. Reardon's contributions to our school also includes attending numerous school shows, events, and musical concerts. She has shared that participating and attending after-school activities makes for great conversations during class. Ms. Reardon has built positive relationships with students, parents, and colleagues. This is especially true of her collaboration with Ms. Simeon, our 2nd art teacher. Together, they have joined forces to further develop the current projects, create new project ideas, and navigate teaching art during a pandemic. They work together to create meaningful collage by students to present to a peer battling an illness. Both art educators continuously collaborate regarding creative thinking, student expectations, and art show and displays. Whether it be keeping student work fresh on our display walls, creating digital slideshow during the pandemic, it is Ms. Reardon's priority to showcase student work that is a result of strategy, lesson planning. Student art brightens the day of all to view, and it begins with a breath of fresh air to our hallways. Anytime a bulletin board needs meaningful words for student self-expression, I can depend on Ms. Reardon to get the test done for our school. I am personally appreciative of Ms. Reardon's willingness to help create motivational bulletin boards that are displayed around our school. It is my honor to recommend Nicole Reardon as an art educator at Eastchester Middle School. And lastly, but certainly not least, it is my pleasure to recommend Madeline Rundy as a music educator at Eastchester Middle School. Over the past 4 years, Ms. Rundy has proven to be a knowledgeable and dedicated teacher. Ms. Rundy's knowledge as a music educator is demonstrated while teaching multiple levels of band, teaching adaptive music to high school age students with disabilities, co-teaching high school symphonic bands, as well as our Adventures in Music course. Ms. Rundy is engaging and portrays a positive attitude in all that she does. The COVID-19 pandemic required Ms. Rundy to adopt a new socially distanced approach to teaching band in addition to a new learning environment. Despite these challenges, our students continue to receive meaningful instruction and produce beautiful music as evidenced during our concerts. During her time at Eastchester Middle School, Ms. Rundy has contributed to the redesign of our Adventures in Music course, which now offers students the opportunity to create music on music software, learn songs on boomwhackers, and learn music video production, among many more opportunities for students not enrolled in our performing music courses. As a result, we've had significant increase in enrollment. Ms. Rundy's contributions outside the classroom are significant. Ms. Rundy prepared and chaperoned students for the elementary and intermediate all-county choral festivals for the first time in Eastchester history, and for which a soloist from Eastchester was chosen to perform solo out of the entire intermediate all-county chorus members. Ms. Rundy also prepares students for the New York State Band Directors Association 2022 Symposium in Syracuse. Ms. Rundy has prepared numerous students for NYSSMA Solo Festival. We are all appreciative of the band's performance during the moving up ceremonies under Ms. Rundy's direction. Ms. Rundy is a dependable chaperone during school events, chorus and orchestra concerts, and field trips. She has volunteered to chaperone the high school performance at MetLife Stadium, Music in the Parks at Six Flags Great Adventure, as well as her 8th grade field trip to Ellis Island. Ms. Rundy advises numerous clubs, including the Jazz Band. She is a yearbook co-advisor and the co-director of the EMS Players Club. It is my privilege to recommend Madeline Rundy for tenure as a music educator at Eastchester Middle School. Now I'd like to introduce my esteemed colleague, Joanna Napolitano, principal of the Greenville School.
Good evening, Dr. Glass, Board of Education members. I'd like to invite Dr. Francesco Bello, Mr. Brian Bernaducci, Ms. Allison Coe, and Ms. Lori Martins up to the podium. It is my privilege to recommend Dr. Francesco Bello for a tenure appointment as school psychologist in the Eastchester Union Free School District. Dr. Bello has served as a school psychologist at Greenville for the past 3 years. Dr. Bello has quickly become a vital member of our Greenville staff. Parents and students actively seek support from Dr. Bello, whether it be for social groups or for more serious counseling needs. In addition to his daily responsibilities, Dr. Bello is the leader of our Social Emotional Learning Committee. He works collaboratively with our school guidance counselor to create a positive school environment for both staff and students. District-wide, Dr. Bello is a part of the PBIS Social Emotional Learning District Leadership Team and the Mental Health Reentry Committee. Dr. Bello has been a guest speaker at our Greenville PTA meetings on multiple occasions, helping parents with everything from managing homework to socialization to COVID response. Dr. Bello is knowledgeable, helpful, and kind. I am pleased to recommend Dr. Bello for tenure. It is my privilege to recommend Mr. Brian Bernaducci for tenure appointment as an elementary teacher in the Eastchester Union Free School District. Mr. Bernaducci has served as both a 3rd and 5th grade teacher at Greenville for the past 4 years. Brian has proved himself to be an enthusiastic and determined teacher. Throughout his probationary appointment, Brian has found many opportunities to connect with Greenville and Eastchester families. At Greenville, Brian has served as the PTA liaison, bridging the home and school community. Brian has also served on the One Book, One School committee, a much beloved tradition at Greenville. District-wide, Brian has served as the Eastchester High School varsity wrestling coach since 2020. Brian has also grown professionally through the Google Fellowship. Possibly most remarkable, Brian is a yearly survivor of the dunk tank at our annual Fall Festival. Brian has a dynamic teaching style, and he goes above and beyond to meet the needs of all his students. Brian fosters their independence through group projects and encourages students to take leadership roles within the classroom. He works collaboratively with his fifth grade colleagues and has worked diligently to integrate his ideas into our fifth grade curriculum. I am pleased to recommend Mr. Brian Bernaducci for tenure. It is my privilege to recommend Mrs. Allison Coe for tenure appointment as a teacher of English as a second language in the Eastchester Union Free School District. Mrs. Coe has served as an ENL teacher at Greenvale for the past 3 years. It is my privilege to recommend Mrs. Lori Martins for tenure appointment as an elementary teacher in the Eastchester Union Free School District. Mrs. Martins has served as a fourth grade teacher at Greenvale for the past 3 years. Lori is a competent and compassionate teacher. In her time here in Eastchester, Lori has worked hard to build connections with both the Greenvale and Eastchester school communities. At Greenvale, Lori has participated in the Greenvale Fall Festival and facilitated the Family Fun Night. Lori is also the Grade 4 Cultural Arts representative to the PTA. At the district level, Lori has served on both the K-5 Literacy Committee and the Mental Health Reentry Committee. Lori is also a proud participant in the Harlem Wizards basketball game. Lori has grown professionally through a variety of professional development. She has participated in many school, district, and countywide offerings, including the district-wide mentoring program and whole brain learning. Lori is a warm and kind teacher who has worked to create a positive classroom community. Her students participate in collaborative learning activities and small group work. She focuses on student-centered learning and builds relationships with her individual students. I am pleased to recommend Mrs. Lori Martins for tenure. I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Vidya Bhatt, principal of the Waverly School.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to honor and recognize Ms. Teresa Arita and Ms. Adriana Chiapelli tonight. It is a privilege to recommend Ms. Teresa Arita for tenure appointment as a special education teacher at Waverly School. Ms. Arita began her career at Waverly as a monitor for several years prior to serving as a teaching assistant. Upon completion of her graduate studies, she secured a position as a special education teacher in the Bronx prior to transitioning back to Waverly as a self-contained classroom teacher. In having served at every professional level within a special education classroom, Ms. Arita genuinely knows what it takes to create an optimal teaching and learning environment for her students and staff. Ms. Arita teaches her students with all her heart. She focuses on their abilities rather than their disabilities and sees the able within label. She provides all of her students with warm, specific feedback while continuously encouraging them to challenge themselves in appropriate ways. Ms. Arita provides ongoing scaffolding for her students so they can work towards achieving lesson objectives in conjunction with the goals stated on their individualized education plans. In a true workshop model, Ms. Arita's classroom is characterized as a vibrant place filled with positive student and staff interactions. Under Ms. Arita's guidance, her teaching assistants and monitors work with students individually or in small groups, which allows Ms. Arita to also focus on supporting her students in a variety of ways. She's skilled in adapting curriculum and various aspects of programs so she can continuously expose her students to new skills and revisit previously taught lessons and concepts with them to reinforce their understanding of content. Ms. Arita strives to make all of her students more independent each day. Ms. Arita demonstrates her commitment to Waverly both in and out of the classroom. She served on our Spirit Committee in previous years, where she's assisted in running school-wide morning meetings during specific months, organized activities related to the word of the month, and created school-wide interactive lessons. An example of a project that Ms. Arita facilitated was the gratitude tree, in which she created and implemented that hung in the hallway. Students and staff were asked to draw or write something that they were grateful for on a leaf, and they each placed it on the tree. This activity was featured when the word of the month was gratitude, so students could make the connection more powerful and bring it to life. Ms. Arita has also participated in other activities and extracurricular events, demonstrating how she supports our school community in a variety of ways. She served on our Social Emotional Learning Committee, where she's partnered with other community members to design self-care opportunities for students and staff, such as self-care calendars, wellness days for staff and students, and staff walks and picnics at the end of the school year. Ms. Arita has presented at SEPTA nights and at Board of Education meetings to educate our community on helpful strategies that parents can use with their children, and to inform all about our school-wide morning meetings at Waverly. She's facilitated and helped run games and activities for families at ENL nights to help our students who are learning the English language. Ms. Arita has also assisted in Waverly's Drama Club and worked with our self-contained champions to support them with their performance in our school play. Ms. Arita's work as a special educator and advocate for her students make her an integral part of our school community. She's a team player and a genuine asset to Waverly, and I'm delighted to recommend Ms. Teresa Arita for tenure as a teacher in the Eastchester Union Free School District. It is a privilege to recommend Ms. Adriana Chiapelli for tenure appointment as teacher in Eastchester Union Free School District. Ms. Chiapelli began her career as a first grade teacher in Southington, Connecticut, and came to Waverly with 4 years of teaching experience. During the past 4 years, Ms. Chiapelli has demonstrated her commitment to our students both in and out of the classroom. Applying the best of both pedagogical worlds, Ms. Chiapelli possesses knowledge of Teachers College Reading and Writing Project and modifies that approach to provide her students with systematic, explicit instruction in reading, writing, and spelling. She carefully crafts lessons that incorporate relevant aspects of our Reading Wonders program, and she masterfully combines a plethora of resources to demonstrate best practices in literacy. Ms. Chiapelli exposes her students to deductive and inductive instructional strategies, so they receive the best of both worlds. Her students are getting direct, explicit instruction when necessary, while still benefiting from opportunities to brainstorm, experiment, and collaborate with their peers to build knowledge of concepts. In the great words of William Butler Yeats, Nobel Prize-winning poet, Ms. Chiapelli not only fills our students' metaphorical pails with knowledge, but she also strives to ignite their fires, supporting them on their journey as intellectually curious, lifelong learners. Ms. Chiapelli exemplifies a student-centered approach to teaching her students and prides herself on developing and maintaining strong, positive relationships with them. She received emotional intelligence ruler training at Yale University Center for Emotional Intelligence. Ruler is an acronym, for those who don't know, that represent the 5 key skills of emotional intelligence: recognizing, understanding, labeling, expressing, and regulating emotions. She applies this knowledge and training in her responsive classroom techniques, as well as activities that promote mindfulness, because Ms. Chiapelli recognizes the importance of her students' social emotional well-being in conjunction with their mastery of curricular content. Ms. Chiapelli demonstrates her dedication and commitment to Waverly in a multitude of other ways. In the past 4 years, she's conducted 2 sessions of yoga club, and most recently has served as one of the lead teachers for our ENL club. She has also participated in several committees involved in the hiring of new staff at Waverly, as well as for the placement of our students when they transition from kindergarten to 1st grade. Earlier this school year, Ms. Chiapelli also planned and delivered an outstanding curricular presentation to our parents during Waverly's first annual curriculum night. We are extremely fortunate to have Ms. Chiapelli as a member of our staff as she continuously strives to improve our school community. Her warmth, creativity, and positivity make her an asset to Waverly, and I'm so pleased to recommend Ms. Adriana Chiapelli for tenure in the Eastchester Union Free School District.
Congratulations to everybody. I wasn't prepared. Nobody told me I was on the agenda, so I'm going to say something briefly. On behalf of our board and the entire community, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our schools and community. As you all know, the school district has a mission statement, we have a strategic coherence plan, we have our beliefs, we have our vision of a graduate, and we have our community values. And as teachers of our children, we basically entrust them to you, and we're confident that you'll take that trust given to you and become the absolute best educators and role models that you can be, and to provide each and every one of those students with the tools they need to succeed. Congratulations, and once again, welcome to our schools. Okay, the tenure portion is over, so I am going to ask for a motion to accept the personnel agenda. Okay, Judah, Steve, you're going to second. All in favor? And no, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? That's unanimous. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, we're going to get back to our regular meeting now. Thank you, everybody. Next on the agenda, actually not on the agenda, but here tonight with us is Morgan. How would you like to give us a student report tonight? Thank you.
Good evening. Members of the sophomore class EGO are hosting a wiffle ball tournament at 4:45 Friday, May 13th on the turf field. It's $5 to play, and food and beverages will be sold. On Friday, May 20th at 3 p.m., the freshman class is hosting a cornhole competition in the high school gym. It's open to all grades and only costs $5 to play. You can sign up in the cafeteria during all lunch periods or in the guidance office. The annual Junior Class Day Wake-a-thon is back. On May 13th, juniors will enjoy a night full of movies, dodgeball, karaoke, and more. The Players Club is performing a 24-hour musical. They'll have only 24 hours to rehearse and perform a show. All students are welcome to participate. In honor of Teacher Appreciation Week, the Art Honor Society created a board where students could write kind post-its to their favorite teachers located next to the library. On Saturday, June 18th, from 11 to 2, there will be an Eastchester block party with food, music, games, student art, and student performances in the EHS front parking lot for staff, students, alumni, and the rest of the Eastchester community. On May 21st, you can join EMS and EHS participate in the annual Relay for Life at Lake Isle for the 15th year. You can make a donation at EHS Cares and EMS Cares on the Relay for Life website. Lastly, I'd like to give a huge congratulations to the senior class of 2022 for committing to college. We're also excited to see what you accomplish in the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Morgan. Anybody have any questions for our student rep? No? Okay. Thanks and good evening. All right, now we'll go back to the superintendent's report. I think you have something to say about the gradebooks implementation?
Yes, just thank you. We have one more item, and I'd like to invite Bill Blum, our CIO and Director of Technology, to the podium to talk a little bit about one of the goals that we set for this year to put in place for next year, which involves the going online with the e-gradebook for families to be able to see grade progress for students.
Hi, good evening. I'm going to give you a quick overview of where we are with the Home Access Center timeline for that to open up in September. We've been doing professional development with the teachers throughout the school year. We've had 7 sessions. Tomorrow will be our final session for Gradebook PD, and then we'll do a PD session in August, September, as we're coming back, just to do any updates that may take place over the summer with the teachers, but then also just to do any review before they start to build their grade books and open up for the school year. At the beginning or toward the middle of the marking period, we'll have an open Zoom session. During that time, any teachers with questions or answers can just pop on the Zoom, ask, and then get a quick review or assistance with being able to set up their grade book if they need any additional assistance while they're doing that. Toward the mid to late August, we'll put up instructions and descriptions of the additional features that'll be posted on the Home Access Center for parents to see. It'll be on the technology page, and on that page will be additional instructions for Home Access Center, the new features that'll be posted in September within the parent portal for parents to see. In September, HAC, the parent portal, will have the included features opened up, and all the parents will be able to see that and be able to follow through and look at the different features that are there. Some of the features that'll be in the new gradebook will be the gradebook feature, of course, and parents will be able to see the different categories and follow along and see these as the teacher builds them. Each teacher is going to build them individually. There are many categories for different subject matters and courses. This is just an example of a few of them, tests, quizzes, and so on that are normally there. But each teacher will take those categories and build out the ones that are appropriate for their courses. The Classwork tab that'll be there will give parents the ability to check assignments, look at assignments due dates, attachments added by the teacher, and late date classwork, the last date any classwork was updated. The calendar tab is a month view of all that. That allows the parent just to take a quick month view of the class assignments and the class events. One of the features that we'll be putting in there is the assessment testing feature. So during the course of the school years, students take different assessment tests, and we'll be posting those scores in the parent portal as they become available and once they're verified, and then we'll post them up there and they'll be visible for the parents. And these are the different types of tests that go on through the course of the year, the NWEA, the NICE-SLAT, NICE-TEL, the Regents, of course, the NICEA, and the NICE-STEP. There's a feature for My Alerts that'll be there. Parents can set thresholds for these. You can go in and you need to subscribe yourself. And you can set a low threshold. Let's say you want to, on an assignment, you want to know if your child gets anything below a 70. You'll receive an alert, anything that's received below a 70. But on the opposite side, if they get anything over a 90, let's say, and they set the threshold for a high for a 90, you have the opportunity to then be alerted for that, and, good job, Transcript tab, that's the ability to see the transcript for the students. It's an unofficial copy. It's going to, if you want to print it out or you need to use it, it's going to look like a web page. It can't be used for anything other than personal use, and being able to look at it and just be able to access it and understand what the transcript will look like or what it may look like when it's actually officially posted. And then the report card page, the ability to view and print report cards. After July, we didn't have that option before. We have that option now, and we'll be able to leave the report card open after we do the rollover, which opens up a little more flexibility for parents when they need to print report cards or that for sports and other things that they need to enroll their kids into. And that's it. Any questions?
This is for grades 6 through 12?
6 through 12, yes.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, I didn't specify that. I just took that for granted, sorry.
I have a couple, this looks really exciting, and we've been talking about this for a very long time, so I'm pleased to see where we're at. I have a couple of questions just because I do stuff like this for a living, and so I want to make sure we're, some of the things we don't always think about until we're there. The first line of support, this is supplied by the RIC, right? The actual home access center.
East School Power School is, the server's hosted at Lyric. They provide secondary support, and then we have an in-house database specialist and another support staff person that works with it.
So the teachers will have a clear line of who they should be calling if they, have some trouble or if they have questions or can't figure things out.
Through the service desk, you can always put the service desk ticket. You can always put a service desk ticket, but we're also very accessible.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just want, what I don't want to happen is if there's confusion, is should I be calling Bill? Should I be calling Lyric? Should I be calling, right? I want teachers to understand who
No, we're the first line of support.
And then the second comment or question or request, maybe I'll call it, that I'll make is, I noticed that you had a Zoom session where you're going to give everybody a chance at the marking period to kind of make sure they're on track. With our students, we have an interim progress report where we give the students a chance to, before their grades are in, see how they're doing and, steer their course. I'm wondering if we should have a Zoom session surrounding the interim progress report to help teachers who need a little bit of course correction that early and not wait for the first marking period. Does that make sense?
Well, I think it's really going to be independent. The teacher's going to know if they're having any problems setting up their grade book. They've been through, there's been multiple sessions. There's online support in our resource folders. We'll actually have the information for the parents posted to the web page. There's a resource folder that teachers have access to that actually have all the recordings from the training sessions, so they can go back and review the training session they were part of. But if they have a glitch or they say they just don't understand something, if we can't answer it for them, we do have that second level of support in Lyric to be able to go to and get that answer. But the open Zoom session is just exactly for that, like midway, just to jump on if you're having any issues with your grade book or you think there's something that you need assistance with.
Great, thank you.
One question of clarity. This will be available like day one when school starts. Or did I miss that?
I'm going to leave that flexible within the first week of school starting, just because we want to make sure all the teachers have their grade books ready to go. So, everybody will be coming back, but it'll definitely be available. Nothing's going to be, very few things are going to be, posted at that time. You'll get homework assignments, you'll get things starting to be posted, but let's keep that a little bit flexible so that we know that first week of September will be opening. But our goal is to have it open as the start of school.
No, I think it's great. This has been a long time coming, and I commend you for getting this on the docket, prioritized, and getting this to the place where we're at this point right now. It's really exciting. I love the texting alerts. I think it's great, both when things are dipping and when things are going high. I think
it's an email alert.
Beautiful.
But
that's fine. I'm texting. Oh, it's an alert nonetheless.
Okay.
So that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to say thank you. I know we've been talking about this for a few years, so I'm glad to see it happening.
Okay.
As am I, thank you. It's been long coming, and we're getting there.
Glad the initiative was taken on this year.
Excellent job, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Next up on the agenda is the budget hearing.
Hi, good evening. So tonight we're just going to do a quick overview of the budget. There's nothing new here since the last few weeks. It's just a high-level overview. Just a few slides, which shouldn't take us too long. So this slide here shows the property tax cap calculation. Again, for this year, our property tax cap is 1.78%. Our budget has been created around that, and it is considered tax cap compliant. The revenue detail on this slide, the property tax levy is $79,308,000. Our county sales tax the budget has increased from last year approximately $200,000. Health services is increased by $50,000. Refund of prior year BOCES expenses up by $10,000. Miscellaneous revenue up by $39,000. And the biggest increase, we've been fighting for years, is our increase in state aid. It's a little under $12.5 million, a $2.490 million increase, and that is mostly due to our increase in foundation aid. So we are very thankful for that. So our total revenue for next year is budgeted at $96,208,000. Our expenditure overview, our expenditures must equal our revenues. So in total, again, we're at $96,208,000. We have a 4.1% increase in administration, a 5.1% increase in facilities, operations, and security, a 4.1% increase in instruction, an 11.8% increase in transportation, a 6.4% increase in employee benefits, a 1.8% decrease in our debt service, and an 11.5% decrease in our transfer to other funds. So included in this budget are the following FTE staffing changes. We have a 0.8 increase in business education at the high school, a 0.4 ENL increase also at the high school, a 1.0 math, computer science, robotics teacher at the high school, 3.0 assistant principals at each elementary school, or one at each elementary school, 4.0 special education teachers, 2 at Greenvale and 2 at Ann Hutch, 1 math AIS teacher to be shared between Greenvale and Ann Hutch, 2.0 grade level monitors at Greenvale, 1.0 maintenance laborer for district-wide grounds, 1.0 custodial floater district-wide as well, 1.0 computer aid district-wide, a 1.0 elementary ed tech facilitator, and a 1.0 secondary ed tech facilitator. We are also going to have a reduction of 4.0 teaching assistants due to the new special education teachers. It's an exchange, a one-for-one exchange. We are also decreasing 2.0 remote instruction teachers as they were COVID-related, and we are not anticipating needing remote instruction next year. Other items included in this budget are new elementary reading and math programs, curriculum mapping initiative, professional development to go along with some of these new initiatives such as balanced literacy and math, elementary writing, and RTI. Some summer programs are going to be implemented this year, pre-algebra and guidance at the high school. We are going to increase our contract security coordinator to a 1.0 FTE. Additional occupational education spots have been budgeted for. 1-to-1 Chromebooks and licenses for the 6th grade, 200 plus elementary Chromebooks and carts, and field maintenance equipment. Our proposed capital project for next year is for some masonry repairs, window and lintel replacements at the high school and the middle school. We have a total of $2.1 million included in our transfer to capital line, and should any funds remain, we will address other projects as identified in our 5-year capital plan. So in case you're wondering how you can learn more about the budget, you can go to our district website, eufsdk12.org, has the full budget document. I have a copy here. It looks like this. You can pick one up at the district office if you want a hard copy, but the full document is online. Our budget newsletter will be delivered to your homes shortly. That is also available online if you want to see a digital copy. The Eastchester Public Library also has copies of our budget. The budget vote and trustee election is 1 week from today, May 17th, from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Eastchester Middle School Gymnasium. And that is it. Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Lisa. Anybody have any questions for Lisa on this? Now, we don't have to vote on this because we've already voted on it. Right. This is just our final presentation.
Just one quick, I don't know if, Scott, maybe you could answer. Can you remind me, what is the summer program? So pre-algebra and guidance. What's the guidance?
Guidance, we're going to be running, looks like 2 different programs. One is a transitionary program for students as they transition from grade 8 to 9 to better support that transition between buildings, and also a program for our rising seniors in terms of preparing for college and finalizing college applications. And the pre-algebra program is for our 7th graders that potentially need a little extra support to be prepared for the 8th grade algebra course.
Is that sign up? I mean, the preparing for college, is that?
They're still designing them, so a lot of information is yet to come. We're waiting for the budget to pass to make sure that we have the money to do them, but that will get out very soon afterwards, and we'll let everybody know how to be prepared for those and how to, if they need to sign up or if they're going to be contacted, the counselors will be in touch with all their students.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, no other questions? Okay, thank you, Lisa. All right, next item is board committee reports. So let's go, who wants to raise their hand and give us a committee report? Anybody? Yes, no? We had a labor committee meeting. We can't talk much about that, but you want to say we did?
Yeah, we had a labor committee meeting before this, and you'll hear some more details soon in exec.
Yeah, so.
It's all confidential.
Okay. Any other committee reports? Anybody want to say anything about the block party or anything? You want to? Jackie?
Okay, so planning is underway for our June 18th. We celebrate Eastchester Block Party. So we will be having food trucks, student performances, a lot of showcases from different clubs and student organizations. So it's a family event, so hopefully everyone can make it. It's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the parking lot of the Eastchester Middle School and High School, and we hope to see you there. More information to follow.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Yes, Jonah, go ahead.
This Friday is the Ann Hutchinson Spring Fun Fest, and if anybody would like to dunk our superintendent, he will be there. 5:40, is it?
Our superintendent is, and how much is it per throw?
The more money we can raise, the better. And our trustee neglected to mention that he's going in the tank too, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, and what time is this?
Rob Glass will be there at 5:40.
Very good, very good. I might show up just to see that. I would never throw a ball at either one of you, though. Okay.
Just a quick, I just wanted to congratulate SEPTA on the rip-roaring return of bingo and brownies last Saturday. It was a great event, huge turnout, and just wanted to congratulate.
And I could attest it was a very, very, very nice evening. Very nice, as it always is. Okay. We're up to the consent agenda. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Comments from the public on agenda items only. So if you have anything to say about the agenda, please come up.
Hi, Bernadette Mannion, Brassey Road. I wanted to comment on the portal and the grade book that was presented. And this very important tool is long overdue here in Eastchester for students and parents and families. And I want to give a very sincere thank you to Dr. Glass and this current board for listening, for making it a district goal this year, and for seeing it through to implementation. I'm very appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we're going to move the consent agenda. Judah, how would you like to do that? Remember, we already approved personnel, so you don't have to read that part.
I will move a motion to, or I will move to resolve that the Board of Education approve the consent agenda, which includes the number 7, approval of minutes, number 8, nope, the personnel agenda we already did. So number 9, the Committee on Preschool Special Education recommendations, and number 10, business office recommendations.
Okay, is there a second, Steve?
I'll second it.
Any discussion on any of these? Would anyone want to comment on the, I'll comment on it. Okay. The donation that we're approving is from Special Olympics of New York in the amount of $2,000 for the use towards the startup of the Special Olympics program at Eastchester Schools. And we have a second donation from the Waverly PTA in the amount of $5,100 to purchase classroom books, select classroom library books and/or sets of Waverly, for the Waverly Elementary School, and a donation from the Waverly PTA in the amount of $1,500 to purchase sensory pathways for the Waverly Elementary Schools. Thank you very much for all that you do for our schools. Anybody have a comment on anything else on the consent agenda? Okay, all in favor? Everybody? Good. All right, we're done with that. Other business, district emergency response plan. I'll throw that over to you, Doc.
Yes, first of all, it's important for everybody to know and understand that we do have an emergency response or safety plan for the district that is posted on the website every year. That is a public document. It is a very general document, but it is required by law that it is updated to be compliant with any new requirements that the state may mandate. And so every year, our security coordinator from Alteris and the Alteris organization, go through to make sure that our plan is updated to be compliant. The draft you have here is really just for your awareness, sort of like a first policy of board reading, so you can be aware of it, and also to let the public know and give the public an opportunity to know that this plan will be posted on our website for 30 days so that you have the opportunity to review it. If you have any comments on it, we'll have a feature on the website where you can post your comments and questions, and we will take that into consideration, at which time then this is approved annually and put on the website and updated for the 22-23 school year. So this will go up tomorrow for 30 days at a minimum for the public to be able to see it. We just had a couple updates here, a couple areas like transportation and areas like where there were some required updates, and those are reflected in this new draft. Other than that, the plan is essentially much as it always is. You should also know that, and everyone should know, that every school within the district has a much, much more detailed emergency response plan, safety plan that is prepared, and these same adjustments are made within all of those plans. They are reviewed with all of our administrative staff, and they are the emergency response teams at each school are brought up to speed on those as well. Those plans are not public. They are not posted just because of security reasons. We keep those confidential, but they are much, much more detailed than what you see here in this plan. But I wanted everybody to just have that background.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have to vote to accept that? Is that what this is here for? Or?
Right, I believe we have to...
Not yet. It's just for awareness now, but we'll bring this back to you in about 30 days.
Okay, good. All right, so the next item on the agenda is we do have to vote on. And Chrissy, I'm going to ask you to move items 11.2, 3, and, we don't have to move the others. 11.2 and 11.3, we have to vote on those.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve one vote each be cast for Westchester Putnam School Boards Association, slate of 2022-2023 officers and members of Board of Directors.
Okay. Jonah, would you like to second that? Oh, you can move them both, by the way, because we're going to ratify their budget as well.
Okay.
You can move both items.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education ratifies the 2022-2023 budget for the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association in the amount of $277,720.
Okay. Jonah, you'd like to second that? Sure. Any discussion on that? I feel very magnanimous today, and today I'm going to vote on this instead of abstaining. So, all in favor? It's springtime, it's a warm day, it's nice, baseball's in the air, all that fun stuff. All right, so now we're up to first reading of the Student Health Services Policy. I think, who's the committee on that? Steve, you on that committee? You want to talk about that?
Yep, we've got the first reading of policy number 5420, which is Student Health Services, which we don't have to vote on.
Right.
But I believe we do have to vote on the second reading of policy 8635E, which is the Parents' Bill of Rights for Student Data Privacy and Security. So do you want me to move that?
Yeah, you can move that,
okay,
but then we're going to have a discussion.
Okay,
yeah.
So be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the second reading and adoption of the attached policy number 8635E, Parents' Bill of Rights for Student Data Privacy and Security, and be it further resolved that the policies will be posted on the district's website for public viewing.
Okay, is there a second? Chrissy, how about you? Sure. Okay, discussion. Anybody? Yes, Jonah.
On the one we're doing the first reading, on the policy 5420, there's a few references to the commissioner. I think that's the state health commissioner, not the county, right?
I think it's the commissioner of education, but
I believe it's the commissioner of education, yes.
Well,
But
There's a reference to Commissioner of Health, and then there's a reference to just Commissioner.
Okay, let's take a look.
Yeah, we could just double check that.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that.
I think whenever they use the word "the commissioner," and Lisa, you could correct me here, whenever they talk about the commissioner, it's always the Commissioner of Education, State Commissioner of Education, but we could check it.
Yeah, there are references specifically to Commissioner of Health. I believe that is the state.
Okay. Well, we'll just get clarification on that. Any other issues anybody have on that one?
And then the very last row of Appendix A, there's an asterisk talking about county mandates for isolation and things like that. I mean, don't we take the mandates normally from the state? Are we required to have that asterisk there?
Where's that?
The bottom of the chart. There's a star that says COVID-19 guidelines are subject to change throughout pandemic mandates.
Are we required to have that? My first reaction is that that's just a clarification, and it's probably not a requirement. Would there be a recommendation to do something different there?
Well, I'd prefer we be subject to the state rather than do, I mean, you know, we all know that the Westchester County Department of Health has been a little bit, a little bit tight.
Lines, and we do typically follow Westchester County guidelines.
The 5 days, is that from Westchester County? Or I thought that was from the state.
I mean, the state and the Westchester County often have very similar guidelines, but typically when the state puts their guidelines in, we do follow Westchester County, but I can get clarification on that.
You might, you know, I'm just thinking out loud here, but I'm wondering if, you know, we just shorten that a little bit, COVID-19 guidelines subject to change throughout the pandemic via state guidelines or state mandates or via mandates, you know, just leave it more open-ended.
Yeah, we can.
Because there are a series of them, right?
Yeah, I was going to suggest maybe government mandates. I mean, if it's mandated, I don't think we have a choice to follow it or not.
Yeah, maybe we could get rid of guidelines.
Somebody's taking notes, right? On what we want to, you got that? Okay.
Mandates.
Well, the appendix is, I don't think they're saying it's based on Westchester guidelines. The appendix is called Communicable Disease Guidelines Appendix A. I think it's referencing these guidelines are subject to mandates, right? Not that these guidelines are subject to guidelines. These guidelines are subject to mandates.
Subject to mandates. That's the way it's worded.
It's because this is we're still in a situation where it's changing. Like the other communicable diseases are, you know, the guidelines are set, you know, for return to school and all of that, but the coronavirus is still changing. So that's why we put that in there, so that we knew that it was subject to change potentially still. But I could certainly get clarification on, and we can look at whether it's Westchester County or New York State and whether it's mandated, you know, the wording mandated versus guidelines. I think that's a good suggestion to take a look at.
Okay, we'll look at that one.
So I have two notes. One would be to look at that asterisk language, and the other would be to make sure that we're clear on which commissioner we're speaking about throughout the document. Okay?
Okay. And I have one. You know, I always nitpick these things, but I'm going to read a sentence that doesn't make sense to me.
Which one?
On the first one. This is the first reading. Before any medication may be administered to or by any student during school hours. And the way I read that says that it's referring to a student administering medication to someone else. I think it should say may be administered to or self-administered by any student, because you don't want a student with an EpiPen having a kid next to him with an allergy and administering his EpiPen or her EpiPen to that other student. And this statement is contrary to that.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's just a
It's for
literal reading.
self-administration, yeah.
And you know I can read things literally? We need to fix that statement. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes, that was a
Okay.
good catch, Vito.
Okay. So we would say self-administered by the student, okay? Okay, so we all finished with the discussions. We're going to vote on a second one. All in favor? Everybody? Yes, good. Okay, so let's go back to the agenda here. That's the second reading. Now, we have a resolution which we're going to discuss and then possibly vote on. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to read a statement regarding that resolution, and then Judah, you could read the resolution, okay? And move it. So what I'm going to say here is the mission of the school district is to provide a quality education in a safe, stable, and secure environment that fosters mutual respect, promotes the uniqueness of the individual, provides opportunities for student successes, and guides all students intellectually, emotionally, physically, and socially. At times, we take our convictions and beliefs for granted. However, when that happens, it provides us an opportunity to take a step back and refocus on our core beliefs and convictions and to move forward with renewed focus. The Eastchester School District, through its Board of Education, is fully committed to its mission and its commitment to all its stakeholder groups, including parents, students, families, caregivers, community members, and staff, and is grateful to the entire school community for partnering with us to provide every individual student with the opportunity to achieve their full potential. Okay, so would you like to move that resolution, and then we can have a discussion on, get a second, and then have a discussion about it, and then we will vote on it.
Whereas it is the mission and obligation of the Eastchester Board of Education, the board, to ensure a quality education in a safe, stable, and secure environment for all Eastchester students, including students with learning differences. And whereas the board further recognizes that it has an obligation to protect and observe the legal rights of all students, including those with learning differences. And whereas the board has policies in place that prohibit any form of discrimination that interferes with access by students to educational programs and services, including discrimination based upon an individual's disability status. And whereas the board has adopted policies and have directed personnel to provide to students with learning differences educational programs that foster inclusion classes, appropriate supports and related services, and equal access to a diploma through establishment of heterogeneous Regents classes, inclusion classes, and special education classes that provide equivalent instruction. And whereas the board wishes to affirm its position as it relates to the inclusion of students with learning differences and their families in our school community. Be it resolved that the board affirms its commitment to the individual and collective value of all students and its responsibility to protect and ensure the compliance of the legal rights of all students. Be it further resolved that the board affirms its responsibility to ensure that its members and the school community at large treat each other with mutual respect, and further affirms its responsibility to ensure that the students with learning differences and their families are treated fairly. Be it further resolved that the board affirms its responsibility to continue to support and encourage the provision of inclusion classes for each student, the provision of appropriate support or related services, and to use the authority granted under the New York State education law to ensure equal access to a diploma for all students with disabilities. Be it further resolved that the board denounces all conduct that, 1, demeans students with learning differences and or families of students with learning differences, 2, discriminates against students with learning differences on the basis of disability, and 3, has a purpose or effect of interfering with students with learning differences' ability to access or benefit from educational programs and activities of the Eastchester Public Schools. Be it further resolved that the board states unequivocally its continued commitment to support and enhance all of the school district's programs that educate students with learning differences, including but not limited to specialized classes, co-teaching or collaborative classrooms, direct service delivery in classrooms, and consultation services in classrooms.
Okay. Second. Steve, you want to second that?
I'll second it.
All right. As far as discussion goes, I would just like to thank everybody who had any input into this resolution whatsoever. I think it's good. I think it states our position fairly clearly. And that's it. I just want to thank everybody who worked on it, because it took a lot of work. Anybody else have any comments? Yes? No? Okay. All in favor? Good. Unanimous. Thank you very much. All right. Next on the agenda. Future meeting dates. Next week is the annual budget vote and trustee election, which is May 17th. We will also have meetings on June 7th and June 21st. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow is Meet the Candidates night. It will be live for the candidates and Zoomed for everyone else. So please go to the district website, newsletters, whatever, and pick up how you could dial in on that Zoom and inform yourself on the candidates and their positions. And now I am going to open this up to comments from the public, but the only thing I ask on the comments from the public is we do have a Meet the Candidates tomorrow night, so this is not an opportunity for electioneering or commenting about the election. If you have any other comments that you'd like to make to the board, please come up.
Andy Bellack, Park Avenue. I'm from SEPTA. With me tonight, Jen Inglis, and all of the SEPTA Executive Board. And we just want to thank. We just want to thank the Board of Education for unanimously supporting that resolution and affirming the values of our community to the inclusion of students with learning differences. We thank you for taking that affirmative step, and we continue in our partnership with you to supporting all of the students in the district, including those with learning differences. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess it's the end of the meeting, but it brings us to a very special point in the meeting. The board has an announcement. The board has selected an interim superintendent to serve us starting July 1st. His name is Dr. Ronald Valenti. He has many years of experience as a superintendent throughout Westchester County. He was a superintendent in Harrison for 10 years, in Rye Blind Brook for 8 years. He's also served as superintendent on several towns in Long Island. He's an educator. He's an associate professor of educational leadership at Hunter College. He's currently working as an assistant superintendent of curriculum instruction in Westbury, Long Island. His contract is going to be on our agenda for our next meeting on May 17th, and he will most likely be here to pass along a few remarks to the community who's going to that he's going to lead for the next year. And in saying this, I'd like to again thank Dr. Glass for everything he's done, and Dr. Valenti is looking forward very eagerly to work with Dr. Glass. He's going to make himself available for a number of days between his appointment and the end of the school year. He's very eager to come in and work with our administration, to work with them, to learn the goings-on of the district, and figure out what's best for Eastchester going forward. And he also has a great deal of experience in, he's worked as a search consultant in finding superintendents, and he'll be very helpful to us in our search process, which we will be commencing shortly. Our focus has been on lining up the interim superintendent, and now what we're going to be doing is interviewing, we've already interviewed 2 search firms, we're going to interview 2 more, and hopefully we'll be able to select one very quickly and have that search firm work in conjunction with all the constituent groups in the district, parents, community members, Rotary, individual board members. The way a typical superintendent search happens, you get input from all of those individual groups, you create a profile of the ideal candidate, and then we go out and we find a candidate. So he's going to help us in that as well, and I don't have anything else to say on that. Would anyone on the board like to comment on that? I hope I covered it all. Correct me if I didn't.
Good job.
Off the top of my head, wasn't so bad, huh? You know, so he's very qualified. Some people in the district know him. Many educators in the county know him. He's mentored many people in their doctorates in the field of education. He's very well known and respected, and we really look forward to introducing him to the community at our next meeting. Okay?
I mean, I will say.
Yeah, please.
What was really refreshing is that
As a board, it was a unanimous decision.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot that.
It was beautiful.
I didn't want to tip our hand, but all 8 of us loved him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that says a lot about his character and what he's going to bring to the district, so.
Yeah.
All right, anybody else? No. That said, can I call, do we need an exec? Yes, we do. Okay.
Comments from the board?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Comments from the board.
Okay. So in our board resolution this evening, that we all voted on unanimously, it stated the board affirms its responsibility to ensure that its members and the school community at large treat each other with mutual respect. Cheryl, you also drafted a board resolution on June 22nd, 2021 for proper conduct and decorum, and stated mutual respect for elected officials of the Board of Education and not making personal, disrespectful, or slanderous remarks. I really didn't want to bring this up publicly tonight, and I did try and handle it privately.
I don't think you should go there, but
a post was made by 4 of the students last Monday that was inappropriate, offensive, and unprofessional. And it stated, quote, "It's no secret that our Board of Education meetings have become hostile and unproductive since the 4 Eagles Upwards candidates were elected last year. And we want to bring civility and common decency back to the board." That post lacked civility and common decency and was against our own resolutions for conduct, decorum, and respect. I sent an email to the entire board 9 days ago expressing my disappointment, and I received no response. Steve, you did reach out to me, and I appreciate that. However, not all 4 of the board members were reached out to, and the post still remains up. There were a few words that were edited, but the content remains, and it was shared all over social media. And Cheryl, I never heard from you at all. I'm a board member, yes, but first and foremost, I'm a mom of 3 kids in this community who see and hear everything. And attacking me and other board members on social media is upsetting, but not even responding to me when I reached out is even worse, and is not the kind of behavior that we should be modeling for our children. So tonight, I ask that we all remember these resolutions that we voted on. For conduct, decorum, civility, and respect. We're not opponents, we're neighbors. Let's show our kids how to disagree, but still be respectful. Let's show our kids how to be civil on social media, because our kids are watching and listening.
Well, I think I do have to respond to this.
Be my guest.
We know as a board that ethically we are not meant to speak from our position as board members, either on our board email or from our seats on the board about elections. We know that we are not supposed to do that. And you crossed that line when you emailed the entire board and the superintendent, and another board member did as well, about this issue. I have never spoken from my position as a board, my seat on the board, or from my board email or board identity. As a candidate, candidates can run, we can campaign. We know that that is permissible, but we do not campaign or run from our positions on the board or use our positions on the board in any way to influence elections as you are doing. The comment that you pointed out that you found offensive was edited out, but it did not target specific individuals. It talked about what was happening at board meetings during the year. I think many people in our community have noted that board meetings have become uncivil this year in ways that they have not in the past. Did not talk about board members' incivility, but rather
board meetings being interrupted, board business being interrupted, that this has impacted the productivity of our ability as a board to move business. So this is not the kind of discussion. You are overstepping ethical bounds by making these kinds of claims from your position as a board to influence a board member to influence elections. We were told, and it's in the bylaws, and we know legally that should not be done. So this is an overstepping that the board president probably should not have allowed to happen at the board table. We shouldn't be having these discussions about campaigns, candidates, or elections.
You used your board position to make disparaging remarks publicly on social media, so I have a right to defend myself publicly.
That was on a campaign page. It was not as a board member.
I'm going to...
It was a board member, and you attacked 4 current board members.
Guys, listen. We did a lot of good stuff today. We got a lot of good stuff that we're looking to go forward. The election is next week. Let's deal with the election. You got meet the candidates tomorrow, and let's move on from there, okay? That's best I could offer. So, do we have a motion to move to executive session? Steve?
I'll move.
Okay.
We need a reason in the motion.
What is the reason?
Contractual.
Oh, yeah, it's a personnel issue, I'm sorry.
For personnel.
It is a personnel issue.
For personnel.
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you, everybody.